Alchemy is one of the more simple professions. It's pretty straightforward. You really just need to farm up three basic items here. You need to go collect a bunch of daffodils, a bunch of snowdrop, and a bunch of rubies. So you obviously use your herbalism to get the daffodil and snowdrop flowers, and then you use mining to get the rubies. And we're going to make a bunch of powders with those. The magic powder actually takes snowdrops, daffodils, and essence crystal, and the essence crystals you get from the general vendor over there. And then with those powders, you can make these inks. Water from the vendor with the ruby powder makes red ink, and then snowdrop with water makes white ink, and daffodil with water makes yellow ink. I've seen the most uses for the red ink so far, so you need a lot of rubies for alchemy, honestly. But it's really just three things. You need a lot of daffodils, a lot of snowdrop, and a lot of rubies. Um, but you can even make stuff like guild charters and stuff with the red ink. And then you make the salves as well. So you need more ruby powder to make the health salves. Those are super useful. And daffodil powder to make the mana salves. And you just need honeycomb for that, and honeycomb comes from the vendor. So essence crystals, the water, and the honeycomb all come from the general vendor over here. And the general vendor in most towns is this guy right here. And there's just two tabs at the top, items and materials. So if you go under materials, you'll see right here, top three options: water, honeycomb, essence crystals. The daffodils and snowdrops all over the place. It's really easy to find. The rubies are a little bit harder. They take a little bit more effort, but there is a random drop chance from basalt and granite now that they can potentially drop rubies once in a while. Got some snowdrop right over here. Yeah, there's plenty of snowdrop and daffodils across the countryside. Found more of the snowdrop that we needed. Oh my gosh, is that a ruby over there? That might actually be a ruby. That might be the ruby we've been looking for. Oh heck yeah, jackpot. Sweet, nice. Okay, sweet, found another ruby. Awesome. This will be exactly what we needed. Well, I thought we might struggle to find one ruby. Turns out we found two. Alright, so we've gone out and collected the flowers and the rubies that we need. So now all we have to do is make some of the powders we talked. Alright, time to make up some daffodil powder. Next we'll make some snowdrop powder. We'll just keep going right down the list. And also magic powder, which the magic powder is useful in other various professions like weapons crafting to make spell swords and stuff. Alright, got our magic powder done. And last but not least, some ruby powder, which, like we said, ruby powder is used for all kinds of stuff. Alright, now that we got our powders made, we will come down here and we'll move on to inks, and we'll make some of these as well. You need water from the vendor, like we said. And the red ink is used in some important stuff too, like crafting a guild charter and various different things like that. Next up, we'll do white ink with our snowdrop powder and water. And then yellow ink from our daffodil powder and water. Alright, now that we've finished with our inks, we'll move on and make some of these novice health salves. Pretty useful to have some of these on you. Last item we can make with Novice Alchemy is a Novice Mana Salve, which just takes honeycomb and daffodil powder. Well, there is one more item technically. You can make a siege decoration. You can make a siege declaration. You just need 40 beast blood and 40 ruby powder. But that's obviously not a very good option to make in order to level your alchemy up. So that's why we're not really going over how to make that in today's video. Better to stick to making a bunch of powders and inks and salves in order to level your alchemy. Alright, and so that's pretty much all there is to it. You're mostly going to stick to a bunch of powders to level your alchemy up, especially because the powders can be used in various other professions as well. So if you're pumping out a bunch of powders, that's going to be your best bet. They're the easiest to make, they take the least amount of time and resources, and you're going to be able to use those powders to level up some of your other professions as well. And every time you make an item with your alchemy, it's going to increase your percentage on this bar here, and when the percentage bar gets all the way full to 100, then it'll tick up to the next number here, and you have to get all the way to level 10 in order to be eligible for apprentice. But that's pretty much all there is to it. Alchemy is pretty straightforward, pretty easy profession, all things considered. You know, focus on these powders. That's going to be your best bet to plow through it really quickly. And please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel, guys. We've got a lot more Ashley Creation content coming in.